Holistic connection. Let's heal. Holistic connection. Let's learn. Holistic connection. Let's grow. Holistic connection. Let's be real.
Hello, everyone. This is PamelaTopjian, your host for Holistic Connections, Conversations with Holistic Practitioners. And my guest today is Vanessa, and I want to welcome you and ask you to please introduce yourself and share what you do in the holistic healing space.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to this conversation. So, yeah, I've been in the transformational healing space I almost feel like a dinosaur when I say this, since about 2001.
Yeah.
And did many iterations of what that has looked like for me. But essentially, what has always stayed the same and what I do now is really help those that are feeling a strong call to create a new paradigm. So the visionary builders of what's new, because right now we're in a paradigm shift and we're being called to participate in different ways, right? So there's some people that are called to be more activist oriented, and there are others that are called to like really put in the new system structures that we need, you know? So the visionary builders, I help them become who their purpose work really requires them to be. So it's a lot about stepping into leadership. It's a lot about seeing who they actually are, and then really locking in from an energetic alignment and behavioral perspective who that version of them is that needs to lead their calling.
Yeah.
So it's very transformational leadership oriented, but it's from an energy perspective.
Yeah, on your website is a lot about all the energy work, and you're an energy guide, and a lot of the work and offerings and courses have to do around energy work.
Right.
So, how did you get started in all of this?
I have two origin stories, so I'll
Okay.
briefly tell them both.
Okay.
The very first one was I went to a psychic fair in
Ah,
96. And I went there as a skeptic. I went there thinking, I want to debunk whatever I hear. I want to prove them wrong, even though there was a small part of me that was like, what are they going to
curious.
say?
Yeah.
And so I made it a point to go to several different psychics because it was a big festival. There was so many to choose from, and you could get these mini readings. And so I went to four different psychics. They were completely across the space from each other, so they couldn't overhear. And they all told me the same exact
Ooh,
thing.
neat.
And so what that thing was, you're psychic, and you'll feel a lot better about your life and about reality and about the trajectory of your path and your purpose if you actually own that. And so at the time, I was, I don't know, 23 or 24, and I did not know what to do with that information. I just sort of, stuck it in my back pocket at the time.
Right.
At the time was working as a preschool teacher. So
Aw.
the world of spirituality and intuition, even though it always came naturally to me, wasn't anything I thought you could do anything with. I wasn't sure how to develop, how to
Yeah.
apply it. I also really didn't know, like, how do you get paid for that?
Right. And there was no
do?
internet, right? Or was
No,
there, it was just
I don't
beginning
even
or,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that feels like so long ago. So
Right.
I just kind of sat on it for a while, and then a couple of years later, I was in also in university, and I had a teacher who was teaching women's studies, and I was in her course, and she said, I'm doing an energy tools workshop this weekend. Do you want to come? And I
Nice.
come, and she comes up to me and she's like watching me, just follow instructions. And she said, I want to mentor you.
Wow.
Right? And she said, do you realize what you're doing? Like, do you realize what a natural gift that you actually have? And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing what the instructions were, right?
Yeah.
And so I've had this theme, this reoccurring theme of other people noticing
Mm-hmm.
gift that I did not know was there. So that was really like the door opener. But as soon as I started to entertain the idea and put, it's kind of like in retrospect, it all makes sense. I
Yeah.
started to reflect on intuitive hits that I would get over the years, or just I even as a kid, I remember I was always interested in what adults were doing with their lives. I thought, like, what I was like, what do you do for work? Do you like it? If you could do anything, what would you do? Do you
Wow.
understand that the world is changing? How can you apply your gifts to what the world? I mean, I remember being like 7 years old and cornering adults at like a family party, and they're like, "Can you go play?" Or like,
I
"What are you
love
doing?"
that. I love that.
So,
And especially you weren't just going for like what the kids usually want to be what they see, like either what their
correct.
parents do or like most kids wanted to be a teacher or cops or firemen. So it was just kind of like the people in our neighborhood or the people that we interacted with and we knew what their jobs were. That's what we wanted to be, not searching for how
Yeah.
much people like these things. Yeah,
No,
that's
no, I was
great.
always on the search. Like
That's
I was
great.
always had this drive for creating alignment,
Mm-hmm.
creating alignment with purpose and a sense of fulfillment. I just always even yeah, like over the years just wanted to grab everybody no matter what their age and go, "Do you understand that we need to make meaning? We need to do meaningful work in the world.
Yeah.
Like, do you get the importance that you have gifts and you're meant to use them?" And so, really starting to apply this drive that was
Mm-hmm.
always with me
Yeah.
with these intuitive gifts. And so, as I started working with it more intentionally, they developed very rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And my specialty within the intuitive or the psychic realm is when I look at people through that lens, I see them as if they're operating at their highest expression, like
Yeah.
what their purpose is, what their alignment looks like, what they're supposed to be doing on the planet. But it's not just related to them, it's how it connects,
Mm-hmm.
always how it connects to the larger collective shift that's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like people need to know their place, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not just about the purpose, it's not just about the alignment. It's like, where do I fit into
Right.
this larger shift that's going on? Because if you miss that piece,
Mm-hmm.
then you end up with a lot of very ego driven, spiritual blah, blah, blah that you find
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Right,
Like
right.
people are just like, I want to make money and then buy these things. And that's
Yeah.
nice, but also how do you fit into the larger
Yeah.
unfolding?
Yeah. How is
That's
everything
what's
that you're
hard.
doing and putting out into the world fit? Yeah, with everything that we need and everything that's going on. Not just
Exactly.
how is it gonna reflect on me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we do see a lot of that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
How can you help people to understand how to recognize those types of ego-driven spiritual practices or even holistic practices?
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. The thing is, people need to give themselves more credit. They
Hmm.
know when they're off the path.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's just
you
follow
know,
your,
you
yeah.
you feel hollowed out. You feel like something's off the mark for you.
Hmm.
And so it's more about coming to terms with admitting what's real for
Yeah.
yourself. And it's like we already know. And so at this stage, I mean, for myself, like the development was I used to do these one-off sessions to
Uh-huh.
reflect to people like who you are and why you're here on the planet right now,
Yep.
how it all fits. And what that's really evolved into, for me at least, are the people that are already in the know that
Hmm.
I'm meant for more.
Hmm.
So I know that there's a bigger unfolding that's happening right now, and I know I'm meant to be a key player in that,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling small. I'm feeling hollowed
Hmm.
out, and I don't know how to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And so there's already a certain level of awareness by the time that they get to me.
Mm.
I don't know if that answered your
Yeah.
question, but that's what comes through for me when you ask.
Yeah.
It's like we know.
And I absolutely agree with that. I mean, people a lot of times get a little inkling that something's off, but if they can't name it or place it, then they're kind of ignore that. But yeah,
Yeah,
you should follow that rather than ignoring that little inkling or that little intuitive nudge. Yeah, that something's off here. Trust it for sure.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you used to do just like one-off sessions, but you have on your website now that you have options to for people to work at their own pace
Mhm.
through some of your courses and your offerings in that. And then you also have where you do one-on-one coaching. So do you
Right.
want to talk about those different offerings that you have?
I love that question because now I'm thinking of it in the terms of like the continuum of readiness, like
Yeah.
where somebody is at, right? Like, so if you have a course, obviously there's a DIY component to it,
Yeah.
but there's already, at least through the courses that I have, they're
Mm-hmm.
very niche specific, or,
Okay.
they're very
Yeah.
topic specific. And so, again, they're all serving the visionary builder. So the
Mm-hmm.
person that knows that they're here to build something, but what's getting in the way? So, for example, like one of my courses is called Money and Your Mission.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's about untangling where money gets in the way of you moving forward with your mission.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because oftentimes there's like it feels like a trap. It's not really a trap, but it feels like a
Yeah.
trap where you're thinking, I can't do this bigger calling that I'm feeling really drawn to, or this mission that I feel called to do, because I gotta pay the bills,
Right.
or I got, like, how do I untangle those two
Mm-hmm.
energetically? And so all of the courses are energetic focused. By energy, I mean looking at what's underneath the surface,
Mm-hmm.
what's underneath the surface for the individual as well as for the collective. If somebody is at the point where they know specifically what the issue is that they're facing, whether it's like the money piece or the
Mm-hmm.
vitality piece,
Mm-hmm.
or their sensitivity is getting in the way of moving forward. Oftentimes, I find with people that are highly intuitive and highly energetically sensitive, they have some challenges with being visible in the
I
online
see. Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
right? And so there's a recalibration that would need to happen for them energetically to really stand in their power and
Mm-hmm.
really feel a sense of protection from their mission. Protection,
Mm-hmm.
well, like their mission is this shield
Yeah.
around them, and they're able to then emerge into the world and share what it is that they're here to share
Yeah.
without that feeling, that fear. The sensitive person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can feel that energy coming at you. I have a wide range of courses, but
Yeah.
that again, you do it at your own pace. And
Uh-huh.
then I do have an identity focused offering. So if
Uh-huh.
you're in between versions of yourself, like you're not really like your old self anymore, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like you've become the
Yeah.
version of you that can really carry your purpose work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my clients, they wouldn't necessarily call themselves a leader,
Mm-hmm.
but when you have a conversation around their work that they're doing in the world, they absolutely are setting
Yeah.
a new standard
Yeah.
in the way that they express themselves, in the way that they think about holistic health. The identity piece is very much like a midwifing and a
Mm.
remembering of who they actually are,
Mm-hmm.
and removing what stands in the way of them actually claiming
Yeah.
that energy and leading with that energy. We walk different, we talk differently when we are comfortable and confident in
Yeah.
who we're here to be and what we're here to do. So that's the identity piece. And then I have another offering around alignment, which is
Mm-hmm.
really about making sure that you can apply who you are to the work that you are doing in the world,
Yeah.
because you can have a a clear and comfortable knowing of your sense of self,
Mm-hmm.
but then when you go to figure out how to do your business, you feel like a younger version of you, or a more limited version of you,
Mm-hmm.
or a resistant to visibility version of you. We have
Yeah.
all of these different parts within us.
Yeah.
And one of the pieces that I found, especially over in the last year, actually, that was really getting in the way of alignment for
Mm-hmm.
people that I worked with, and actually for myself too. I always have to go through it first.
Uh,
I
that's
have to
good
go
though.
through
Yeah.
it first. And
But then as you're going through something, you're like, oh yeah, this is something that I could help others with. Yeah.
right. It's good for integrity purposes,
Mm-hmm.
like once you're on the other side of it, but when you're
Yeah.
in the middle of it, you're just like, oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah, so the what I was finding with people is that their core wound, there's a core wound there for many of us, because the
Mm-hmm.
work is so meaningful. And so what tends to come and that is so central to who we are. You know,
Yeah.
this is all purpose work. This has a lot of meaning for me that it's very much intertwined with our wounding.
Yeah.
And so when you start to unpack what the wounding is, you realize it is a driving force. You can
Mm-hmm.
find a way to work with that energy to transform it. So in astrology, Chiron is known as the wounded healer. So Chiron is like a master healer, master teacher, but cannot heal the wound for himself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Okay.
so it's through the teaching and the healing of other people dealing with their wounds that
Mm-hmm.
the wound he carries starts to diminish,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
never ever fully goes
Uh,
away. And so the teaching is like, it's that old adage, teach what you need to learn or teach
right.
what you need to heal. And in the
Yeah.
gene keys framework, I don't know if you're familiar with gene keys.
No.
Um, okay, so there's three energy frameworks that I really love to work with in addition to my just intuitive ability to read energy. These frameworks are based on your birth date,
Yeah.
time, place, all of that, but they're different understandings of the mechanics of our energy and how our energy works. So astrology is kind of, I like to think of astrology as archetypal language. So we
Yeah.
we understand ourselves through archetypes. Human design is more about the mechanics of how your energy flows when it's in alignment, when it's not. And then the gene keys, I see it more as a frequency pathway.
Okay.
And so, because within the gene keys system or framework, there is what's called the shadow, the gift, and the siddhi. And the siddhi is
Okay.
Siddhi, and it's like the highest spiritual expression. And so, when you run your charts, they all have a language of their own. But in the gene keys framework, they have these little spheres that have numbers in them,
Mm-hmm.
and each sphere is a different theme. And
Okay.
in the gene keys, there's one sphere called the core wound, and it turns into the vocation in the
Mm.
gene keys framework. So when you understand what your core wound is and how it functions, you can then start to unpack, well, if I were to apply this in a business setting, if I have a transformational focused business or I am serving people in any kind of way, how would I turn this wound into my actual vocation? And so it's
Mm-hmm.
really fascinating to already have a framework in place
Yeah.
and know how to do it. Part of that specific offer for me was being able to translate the language within the gene keys and within
Mm-hmm.
astrology as applied to their business or their purpose work.
It's just so fascinating to me that there's so much that relates to astrology and the time of your birth and the place of your birth and the alignment of the planets and the stars and all of that at that time is so fascinating to me. And it's really so whittled down. It just goes deeper and deeper and deeper.
It is. I am a little bit gleefully obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Oh, truly. I'm
That's good
actually
though.
in the midst of starting a podcast
Wow.
on these three frameworks. So I'm thinking about them even more, but I've been working with them very intentionally since 2021, so about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I learn something new all the time. Just being in the field of energy and being
Hmm.
able to teach how energy works, not from not from a generic perspective, not from
Yeah.
everything is energy. It's like, what does that mean
Right.
specifically in my life with my husband or with my
Yeah.
son or with my health or with my
Mm-hmm.
work? Like, how do you actually apply it so it
Yeah.
makes sense? And I'm not
Right.
talking manifestation hacks or
Right.
anything of that nature. Um, I mean, bless anybody in whatever path they want to walk with any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm just interested in helping people get familiar with tuning into what's underneath the surface and
Yeah.
giving them some new language and frameworks to do so. And so that's what these three systems has really opened up and expanded for me.
Yeah.
And I could
That's great. I
say a
love
lot of
that.
things about it, but I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
talk
I
too
can't
much.
wait for your podcast to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be awesome. So your website is vasmith.com
Mhm.
and you are on Instagram at your_energy_guide.
Yep.
So is there any other links or any other places that people can reach you and that you'd like to mention, or where is the best place for people to reach out to you?
My website is usually the go-to place, so
Yeah.
vasmith.com. You can certainly find me on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yep.
Many of the pieces I took the last year off for a variety of different reasons,
Hmm.
but prior to that, I had been fairly active on a variety on YouTube and
Yeah.
um, Instagram. Substack is coming. I do have a
Okay.
podcast, Check the Energy. There's about 50 episodes that are out
Okay.
now, so that's what has been going on for a while.
Check the energy. Okay. Yeah.
And then I have three podcasts that I'm working on that aren't launched yet,
Okay.
but I am seeking guests for
Oh,
those
okay.
podcasts. After taking a year off, essentially, I had some time to really tune in to myself around the direction that I wanted to move next with
Hmm.
all of my work. And I love to talk, and I mean, you can probably tell, I love to talk and I love to teach.
Hmm.
And so I have dreams, a vision as well of building a media company. And so right
Mm.
now, behind the scenes, I am working on three different podcasts in addition to the one that's live right now, which is Check the Energy.
Check the
But
energy.
the three other podcasts that I have that I will be launching in late 2026 and
Okay.
2027, I'm actively seeking guests for those podcasts.
Okay.
And one of them is called The Design Decode, and it's
Okay.
all about astrology, human design, and the gene keys, and how to really work with your design. And I want to have guests on there that have a specialty within
Uh,
those three frameworks.
yeah.
Work with your design for your purpose work in relation to the paradigm shift.
Hmm.
So it's all going to filter back to purpose work and paradigm shift because that is my thing that I am
Yeah.
passionate about. So that's one of the podcasts. Another one is called Hidden Gem Healers,
Mm.
and I'm looking for guests that have a modality, a healing modality that they're really incredibly passionate about, but they don't love social media. They
Yeah.
feel like a hidden gem healer
Yeah.
and they want to share about, what that healing modality is. And I'd
Hmm.
like to create a platform for that. It's also open to guests that have had an incredibly transformational experience with a hidden gem healer. I know
Okay.
I've had several myself, uh,
Hmm.
and they nobody would know that these healers exist, but they were
Right.
very life changing for me. And I think those stories need to be told,
Yeah.
especially in a day when our healthcare system globally is imploding. We need to see that there really are other options out there.
Yeah.
What
That's one
those
of my main
options
reasons
are.
for doing this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last podcast is called Rewilding Vanessa, and it
Oh.
is about my journey of rewilding. So I'm originally from the San Francisco Bay Area, but I live in France near a
Hmm.
forest, And so the whole premise is I moved to France and I fell in love with the forest. And so
Oh,
my rewilding journey is about three pieces, really. It's walking in the forest and just organically talking about whatever wants to come through because the forest is
yeah.
very alive.
Yeah,
It's very alive. We are
absolutely.
nature. We're not just connected to it. And so that talking about my holistic apothecary because I have a whole, flower essences and cell salts and
Nice.
homeopathy and I have the whole background in holistic health education and that plays into my everyday reality.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part is just the nourishment practices that we need to be doing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Circadian rhythm, bare feet on the
Mm-hmm.
dirt. So
Yep.
I'm really interested in not just sharing my experience of rewilding, but also talking with other people that are, quote, getting back to nature
Yeah.
or just exploring ways that nature can really boost our vitality.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, you want to talk about revolution? Take care of yourself. Be
Yeah.
vital.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, the stronger and clearer that you are, the stronger and clearer that your energy is that you're emitting out into the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's revolution right there. You don't have to be on the activist line. You don't
Right.
have to be building the new. You build you,
Right. Right.
and so I'm looking to have a lot of conversations just because I love to learn about it too, about other
Yeah.
rewilding pathways.
Yeah.
So
And connecting
those
with
are the things.
others. Yeah. Along,
Yeah,
yeah, doing the same types of work. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning from others as well, just through their experiences. I love it. It
Yes.
sounds so amazing. And you're going to be busy.
Yeah. Well, I like to talk to people. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
yeah.
So, is there anything else that you would like to share or to make sure that people know before we end this today?
Yes, the last thing I'd like to put out there is starting at the end of, or more towards the end of 2026,
Okay.
October is my third year, third cohort of my energy guide certification.
Okay.
So for those that if you're sensitive to energy, you can use it for service. And
Mm,
so the whole goal of the energy guide certification program is to teach you how to do that, how you can become an effective energy guide for other people
mm,
and use your sensitivity for impact
yeah.
rather than just be always bowled over with what's
Yeah.
going on, right? Because the more you teach it, the stronger you get. The more you're
Hmm.
able to facilitate conversations and support other people moving through their own sensitivity, because we as
Yeah.
a species are becoming more sensitive. So the
Yeah.
need for guides is will continue to rise. So that's coming October 2026,
Okay.
and there's an early bird special on
Uh,
it right now. So
oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay, great.
check that
Great.
out. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
you and all this information just so much. This is going to be one of those that I think people need to listen to twice.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, thanks for letting me talk your head off.
Oh, I love it.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Your website again, that's vasmith.com, and all the information is there. There's so many different courses, so many different offerings, and like you said, very specific on a lot of them. And you also have a freebie on there, just a mini course on there for how to read energy. So, yeah, so check that out.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks
You're
for
so
having me.
welcome.